What you just saw, that empty field in northern Germany, was once the commercial capital of the entire Viking world, the most important trading port in northern Europe, a marketplace where a dozen languages were spoken every single morning, where merchants from Baghdad traded alongside warriors from Norway, where silk from Byzantium was sold next to furs from Lapland. This was Hedeby, and almost no one talks about it. In less than 300 years, a simple fishing settlement on a muddy inlet became the largest city in all of Scandinavia. And then, in a single night, it was reduced to ash, not by foreign enemies, not by Christian missionaries, by the very last great Viking king in history, one of their own. Today we are going to watch it happen, from the very first house to the last flame, through the eyes of those who were actually there, including a Jewish diplomat from Muslim Spain who visited Hedeby in 965 AD and called the singing of its people like the barking of dogs, only worse. Nothing about this story is what you expect. Let us begin. To understand what Hedeby became, you must first see what it was. Around 770 AD, there is nothing here but a small fishing settlement, a handful of wooden houses on the edge of the Schlei Inlet. Fishermen, farmers, nothing more. The location, however, is exceptional. Hedeby sits at the narrowest point between the Baltic Sea and the North Sea. Only 15 kilometers of land separate the two. Ships coming from the Baltic could unload here, portage their cargo 15 kilometers across land to the Treen River, and reach the North Sea, saving 3 weeks of dangerous navigation around the stormy tip of Jutland. This shortcut is worth everything. But no one has realized it yet. The Frankish Chronicles of Einhard, written in 804 AD in the service of Charlemagne himself, contain the first written mention of this place. At that point, it is still just a name on a map. That is about to change. In 808 AD, the Danish king Godfred makes a decision that changes history. He destroys a competing Slavic trading center called Rerik. He burns it to the ground, but he does not kill its merchants. He moves them by force. The Frankish Chronicles record this precisely. Godfred transported all the merchants from Rerik to Hedeby. Overnight, a small fishing settlement receives an entire commercial population. The craftsmen, the traders, the coin makers, the shipbuilders, all of them, forced to build a new city on the Schlei. And they do. Within years, Hedeby has its own mint, the first mint in all of Scandinavia. A fishing village has become a commercial power. Hedeby has been born, and it is hungry. By 900 AD, Hedeby is unrecognizable. 24 hectares, 1,500 inhabitants, the largest urban settlement in all of Scandinavia, surrounded by a massive semicircular earthen rampart, 1,300 meters in diameter, up to 10 meters high. The largest Viking Age fortification ever built. Archaeologists from the University of Aarhus have documented that the wooden harbor jetties were constructed in 885 and 886 AD, precisely dated using dendrochronology. These are not estimates. These are facts written in wood. And within those walls, a city is alive. These are the streets of Hedeby, both narrow, muddy, alive. Every morning the sound of hammers starts before dawn. Blacksmiths, leather workers, weavers, bronze casters. The University of Copenhagen's Fashioning the Viking Age project has analyzed textile fragments preserved in the mud of Hedeby's harbor. They found wool from England, silk from Byzantium. The mud of this harbor is an archive of 1,000 years of trade. And at the center of it all, the market. But what makes Hedeby truly unique is who you meet here. The man selling silk. He is from Byzantium. The merchant counting coins. He trades with Baghdad. The woman with the glass beads. She came from the Middle East. Danes, Frisians, Franks, Swedes, Slavs, Arabs. In a single morning at the Hedeby market, you can hear a dozen languages. Archaeologists have confirmed this, and the finds are staggering. Arabic silver dirhams, silk with runic inscriptions, glass beads from the Middle East, a unique gold needle case, furs from Lapland, iron from Sweden, wool from England. And only 5% of the site has been excavated. Only 5%. Think about that. 95% of Hedeby is still waiting underground, waiting to tell the rest of the story. In 965 AD, Ibrahim ibn Yaqub al-Turtushi arrived in Hedeby. He is a Jewish diplomat from Cordoba in Muslim Spain. He has been sent on a diplomatic mission through Northern Europe, and he takes notes, precise, detailed, personal notes. He writes that Hedeby is a very large city at the very end of the world's ocean. He observes that the inhabitants worship Sirius. He notes that the main food is fish, so abundant that it is even fed to livestock. He is shocked, in a positive way, that women have the right to divorce, that they can end a marriage whenever they choose. In 10th century Cordoba, this is extraordinary. And then he describes the singing, or rather, the sound he calls singing. He writes it is like the barking of dogs, only worse. Ibrahim ibn Yaqub is not being cruel. He is a man from one of the most musically sophisticated civilizations on Earth, hearing Norse chants for the first time. His discomfort is our gift, because it means he wrote everything down. Around 995 AD, someone erected a stone in Hedeby. Today, it is preserved in the town's museum. Thorolf raised this stone for Eric, his companion, who died when warriors besieged Hedeby. Eric died, defending this city. The stone does not say who the warriors were. It does not say who won. It only says someone tried to take Hedeby, and someone died defending it. The city survived that siege. It would not survive the next one. In 1050, King Harald Hardrada of Norway is at war with King Svein II of Denmark. Hedeby is Danish. Harald's method is brutal and simple. He does not lay siege to the city. He sends burning ships into the harbor. flaming longships drifting into the wooden docks. The city catches fire in minutes. A Norwegian skald in Harald's army, later quoted by Snorri Sturluson, describes the moment. All Hedeby was burned from end to end out of anger. High flame burst from the houses. I stood on the fortress arm before dawn. The charred remains of those burning ships were found at the bottom of the Schlei Inlet during recent excavations. The evidence of that single night, still in the water. Hedeby partially recovered. But in 1066, West Slavic warriors struck again. This time, the population left. They crossed the Schlei and founded a new city. They called it Schleswig. Hedeby was never rebuilt. The waters rose. The streets disappeared. The world forgot. For 800 years. Today, if you go to Schleswig-Holstein in northern Germany, you will find a flat, quiet field, a semicircular earthen rampart still standing after 1,100 years, and a museum, the Wikinger Museum Haithabu, holding the objects of a city that no longer exists. The coins, the silk, the glass beads, the gold needle case, all recovered from the 5% of the site that has been excavated. Just 5%. The other 95%, still in the mud, still waiting. Ibrahim ibn Yaqub called Hedeby horrible. He said it smelled of fish. He hated the singing, but he wrote down every detail. And because of him, we know. We know what they ate, what they traded, how their women lived. We know the sound of a Viking city at its peak, even if it sounded like barking dogs. History is not always what we imagine it to be. Sometimes it smells of fish, and sometimes that is what makes it real. Next week, we journey to the greatest Viking ship ever found, the Oseberg ship, the vessel buried with the queen. Hidden for 1,200 years, perfectly preserved. And in our next film, we will place it back where it belongs, back on the water, back in the fjord, back in the Viking Age. See you there.